Hello class, my name is Carlos Alvarado. This is MPA 540 week 4. Quick overview, we're going to go over what generation I'm part of, and then if I identify with the lecture, then I'm going to identify a family or friend in a different generation, and then as a supervisor with multiple generations in the public sector, how would I develop my management strategies, and then we're also going to see what theories and research supports my answer. The generation that I belong to is Generation Y. I was born in 1985, and that is the generation I'm part of. For me, I did identify with the things in the lecture, but there were some things that I did not agree with in the lecture. One of them was the dealing with the difficult people. But I could see why this is characterized in because I could see some of my peers that are afraid of confrontation and dealing with difficult people. And so, but besides that, I did identify a lot with everything, like being more of a work-life balance instead of pure work, and being business instead of being business casual, being more with something more comfortable. So I did agree with most of it, but there was like one or two things that I didn't agree with. Me myself, I did agree with some of the information from the lecture, but I also had disagreed. On one of the ones that I disagreed was with dealing with difficult people, um, for me personally. But I can't see why they stereotype this into my peers, because I do know a lot of my peers that are they don't like confrontation or dealing with difficult people. And some of the things I did identify with was some of the motivators. It was I have declined some jobs just because it it didn't maintain a good work-life balance. And one of the things also on the lecture said retention was personal relationships. So I did stay at a job longer than I needed to, but I did like working with the people, and that kind of did help trying to stay with that department instead of moving on. And I also agree with the attire. It feels like it's more we like to wear what's comfortable instead of being in suits, and so I do relate with that. And I'm gonna choose my parents for the different generation. They are from the baby boomer generation, and I could from the lecture they did say that their motivators and the retention was both salary, and both my parents, all they really cared was the salary. They didn't care about benefits, they didn't care about anything else, but it was just their salary, and how much they made. The work environment, they do both of them would always like to work long hours, even if it was not a good life and work-life balance. And they would take all the overtime, anything, but they would always do the long hours. And for the attire, the business casual, my parents, for some reason, anywhere they go, they always have to kind of dress up business casual. My dad's always in some slacks and a dress shirt. My mom's always either she can't leave the house without getting ready and being presentable. And so I could see that stereotypical for the baby boomers within my parents. If and when I become a supervisor of a multiple in a public sector with multiple generations, I do not think there is a one fit all manager, like supervisor manager style. I think it's all based on your team, and in every individual group or team of that you have will be different, and you have to adjust to their needs and how they work. And it's kind of a team building skill that you need to do in order to keep the organization running. So I did choose this picture right here where it says performance and management, where it's kind of together. You kind of have to make it so it work so that the business keeps running. And the puzzle pieces is each individual is different, but somehow you have to put them together. And the last picture I did put that even though everybody's a little bit different, the goal of the department it's all the same. So as long as the job gets done and there's nothing wrong with, as long as the job gets done, it should be okay in how you choose on how to manage. And research support, my answer would be Maslow's hierarchy of needs and McGregor's theory X and theory Y. The reason for Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I believe that everybody's needs do need to be filled, like in the order he did say, in order to get the best workers. And I do feel like psychological and safety of the job. Once you have that, you kind of could get your employees to do mostly everything. And then, of course, as a supervisor or a manager, I would be pushing my employees to always promote and move on up. And so that could help with the self-esteem and the feeling of the love of an employer that they do belong to the team. And for theory X and theory Y, there is going to be some employees that are going to need more of a leader telling them what to do all the time, and that's why with theory X. And but I do believe on theory Y that there is some employees that are just uh, they're willing to go beyond their needs and work as uh, without any supervision or little to no supervision, and so you kind of need a little bit of all of these put together to support your answer, to support my answer from the previous slide. And if you're still watching all the way to the end, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next week.